Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The Finnish flag has been raised at NATO headquarters in Brussels to mark Russia's western neighbour becoming the 31st member of the Western Alliance.
I can actually then hand over to you, Minister Haavisto, the formal invitation on behalf of all allies.
Finnish President Sauli Niinistö and the US Secretary of State joined NATO members for the joining ceremony. Finland's border with Russia, seen here at Valima, is part of an 832-mile eastern frontier with Russia. It means, with it joining, NATO's border with Russia has doubled in size. It is a setback for Russia's Vladimir Putin, who repeatedly complained of NATO's expansion ahead of his full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
We can now declare that Finland is the 31st member of the North Atlantic Treaty.
It is a big day for Finland, of course. And I'd say it's a win-win situation. It's good for NATO also. But our next goal is, of course, to get our good neighbor Sweden to the full membership.
A direct result of Vladimir Putin's aggression and his illegal invasion of Ukraine, the day where a new ally joins our defensive alliance. I think that is very positive. We will celebrate that today and then very quickly get to work on the accession of Sweden.
At least one person has been killed and around 30 injured, some seriously, after a passenger train derailed in the western Netherlands. Drone video shows the extent of the crash site from the air. Emergency services say the overnight crash happened after the train transporting about 50 people hit a construction crane near the village of Voorschoten. A freight train is also reported to have been damaged. Some people were treated at the scene, but 19 have been taken to hospital. At least 6 people have been killed after an avalanche struck the northeastern Indian state of Sikkim. Officials said all 6 fatalities were tourists and at least 30 people were injured in the avalanche that took place in the Nathu La mountain pass. Rescue operations are reportedly still underway in the area. Authorities have been working to extinguish a huge fire that raged through a shopping complex with 3,000 shops in Bangladesh's capital of Dhaka. No casualties have been reported so far in the fire, which began in the early hours of Tuesday morning, but army personnel had been called in to help after flames spread rapidly in the cramped, crowded area home to the country's famed cloth markets. Here the scene from above, aerial footage showing how the fire had destroyed everything in its path. Fire service officials said 50 fire units were working to douse the flames, the cause of which was not known immediately. The government of South Sudan has dispatched an additional 300 soldiers to the neighbouring Democratic Republic of Congo under the banner of the regional bloc. They will be part of the East African Regional Force fighting the M23 rebel group. It brings the total number of South Sudan troops in the country to over 1,000. That's according to the defence minister. The 300 soldiers will be deployed to Goma, the headquarters of the regional force. They will be replaced after a year. NASA has named the first woman and the first African-American ever assigned as astronauts to a lunar mission, introducing them as part of the 4-member team.
It is an honor to be here.
Christina Koch is an engineer who already holds the record for longest continuous spaceflight by a woman and was part of NASA's first 3 all-female spacewalks. She will be joined by Victor Glover, a US Navy aviator and veteran of 4 spacewalks, who will be the first black astronaut ever to be sent on a lunar mission. It is the first crewed voyage around the moon in more than 50 years. And 2 extremely rare, critically endangered Sumatran tiger cubs have been born at a zoo in Chester in the United Kingdom. Hidden cameras, which the cubs were initially a bit suspicious of, captured a glimpse of them both. Just 350 Sumatran tigers are thought to remain in the wild, making them one of the world's rarest tiger subspecies on the planet. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.